My name's Eric, and today I'm going to talk about 3 things that I learned this semester. The 3 things that I'm going to cover are a compression test, how to diagnose transmission codes, and how to diagnose a rear driveline issue. The first thing I'll talk about is how to do a compression test. I'll be using a 2003 Saturn Ion for my example, but the same process would be followed for any other vehicle. The first step is to disable the fuel system. You'll do this by removing the fuel pump relay or the fuel pump fuse. The next step is to remove the coil pack and remove all the spark plugs. Then you will thread the compression tester into the hole that the spark plug was removed from. You will turn over the vehicle until the gauge stops going higher and record the value it stops at. Once you've recorded the pressure, press the check valve to safely remove all the pressure in the cylinder. Remove the tester and repeat this process for all other cylinders. Once you have the values for all your cylinders, you can check online using a program such as Protodemand to see how far apart these numbers are supposed to be. If one number is too high or too low, you know there's a problem with that cylinder, and you can look more in depth into the mechanical issues there may be. Another thing I learned this semester was how to diagnose an issue with the transmission of a 2002 Chevy 1500. The truck was showing 5 different engine codes, and they were all due to solenoids in the transmission. The first step in diagnosing this issue is to figure out where the problem is. So we looked up the wiring diagram and realized that all the solenoids having problems were supplied with the same power wire, so that power wire is probably the problem. The next step was to figure out where the problem was. So the first thing we did was we tested the fuse right after the ignition. After finding power there, we decided to check under the hood fuse box. After finding no power there, we realized that the problem must be between those 2 fuse boxes. We followed the wires back and realized that the problem was in the grommet at the firewall. The final step is to repair the wire properly and put the truck back together. Clear the engine codes and start the truck to ensure that the light stays off. The last thing I'll talk about is how to diagnose a rear driveline issue. A Chevy Avalanche came into the shop and the rear wheels were locked. They would not move at all. The first step is to figure out where the problem is. To figure out if the problem is in the front or the rear of the vehicle, we remove the drive shaft to separate the two. In this case, after we removed the drive shaft, the rear wheels were spinning freely. This means that the problem was not in the rear differential or the axles. Since the problem was only happening in the rear, not the front of the vehicle, we knew it was not a problem with the engine or with the transmission. This means that the problem must be in the transfer case. The first step is to remove the drain plug and drain all the fluid. In this case, when the drain plug was removed, there was barely any fluid in the system, and there was a bunch of metal shavings on the magnet of the drain plug. This was the evidence we needed to know that the transfer case was the problem. In order to complete this job, you must remove and replace the transfer case, and the problem will be resolved.